Okay, here we are. Hello. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to fly? Much Elvis fun coming in a few minutes. I trust you're all well. Yes, welcome once again to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. And I can see plenty of people saying hi, Steve. So hello, everyone. I hope that covers everybody. And of course, coming up again this week is This Day in Elvis History. Live interactive poll for you, of course. Fan of the Month quiz. I'll show you what we're playing for in a minute. I wish Elvis had recorded. Photoshop of the week. I hope you're enjoying those Photoshops of the week. I certainly am. Some of them are pretty awful, I have to admit. Pretty awful. Hello to Lou Dane and Maxine for moderating for me and keeping an eye on the quiz answers, because it goes very fast and I have to sort of double check with them to make sure that I saw, the first person to get the correct answer or the answer correct is the person, the correct person. Hi, Arkansas Dave. How are you doing? And while we're on the subject, actually, I've got to say that Jack sent me a little, where are we? I can find it here. He sent me a little screenshot because we were having issues last week. One of the questions was, what was Elvis's army number? And I wasn't seeing the numbers. I wasn't seeing the full number. I was just seeing very, very odd numbers. And Jack sent me this screenshot. And there's Jack saying 533-10761. But what I did notice, and I wanted to bring to your attention, is when we're doing the quiz, some people say, oh, I got it first. I got it right first. And then people say, no, you didn't, and all this and all that. Can you see the where I've circled live chat, top chat? That should actually say live chat, live chat. And if you push the little slider, see those little three lines and the little ticks in them where I've indicated with the arrow, if you click that, it allows you to select live chat or top chat. And you should be selecting, obviously, live chat. And what else have I got here? Yeah, I also wanted to, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen all my videos yet, you can, I have actually constructed a playlist. So when you go into Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel, you'll see playlists, and then click on playlists, and then just literally click on interviews with people from the Elvis world. And that will allow you to play all 23 interviews that I've done so far with people from the Elvis world. And if you're really bored, you can also click the one just to the right there, which is Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel playlist, which is every single video that I've done. So if you want to do that, by all means. Also, check out my latest interview with somebody from the Elvis world, and that was Ron Strauss, Destined to Fly, the story of pilot Ron Strauss from Iowa to Elvis. And I've actually left a link in the description box below for you to click on if you want to listen to that interview after this live show. It's based on that book by Sally Hodel, okay, Destined to Fly, which Sally kindly sent me. Thank you very much, Sally. Great book. And of course, Destined to Die Young was the first one. And I'm sure there's going to be a third one, but I'm not too sure what it's going to be called. It's obviously going to be Destined to something, I would think. Destined to something. So I think I've covered everything that I wanted to tell you. Also, thank you very, very much for the kind messages and emails, etc., that you send to the show. Ideas for topics, Photoshop. I wish Elvis had recorded. Please keep them coming. If you have anything that you want to suggest for those topics, the Photoshop, the I wish Elvis had recorded, anything, send it to me on Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com. You can send it to me on Messenger as well. Yeah, because it all helps. It really does. So what's my director telling me to do? Oh, yes. The prize for, this is what we're playing for. I must have cleared it off. No, we're not. There it is. I thought I'd lost it. That's what we're playing for this month. This month's grand prize is a 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray of Blue Hawaii. Blu-ray, Blue Hawaii. I like it. And Ludane, Jack very, very kindly has donated the prize to Ludane. It was Ludane and Jack in a tie, and he sent me a message saying he would like to forfeit it, if you like, or gift it to Ludane. So Ludane is getting Leslie's book, Take My Hand, Take My Whole Life Too. There you go. So, if we are ready, guess what this week's Fan of the Month quiz topic is? Back by popular demand. Oh yes, it's Name the Jumpsuit. Now, some people are going to go, yippee, I like this. And other people are going to go, oh no, not again. Oh. Well, I did say last week I was probably going to do the jumpsuit. Name the Jumpsuit. So Helen Murray goes, jumpsuits? Maxine says she's ready. It's jumping. No, Kirsty, it's not Backwards EP, but it will be Backwards EP in a few weeks' time. I will do Backwards EP again. Don't you worry. Backwards Elvis was a lot of fun. And pecans on a cake. I'm not too sure what that did. Yes, you did prep us, Steve. I thought I did. I thought I mentioned it last week. So I'm going to show you a photograph of, it's a cropped photograph of one of Elvis's jumpsuits. Elvis wearing a jumpsuit in concert. And it has to match the name given by the Elvis Jumpsuit Index website. Because a lot of Elvis, well, not a lot, but a few of Elvis's jumpsuits actually did have multiple names, or 2 or 3 names at least. So I just want the one name as it is in this particular website. So if we are all ready, I am going to dive in. Let's see some comments first of all, just to see who named the jumpsuits. Elvis. You know, Sandra P., I think it was the fans really that gave them jumpsuits. I don't really think that Elvis gave any of the jumpsuits their names. It was just, it was whatever fans thought it looked like. I mean, obviously, the sundial one is pretty obvious. Although some people did call that the Mayan calendar as well, didn't they? Chris says, hi to everyone. I've missed as it goes fast. Yeah, well, once I start asking the questions or showing the photographs, it does actually start to go quite fast. Yeah. I would ask you also to please, if you haven't, subscribe, click the bell, turn it black for all, because you can only take part in the quiz if you are a subscriber. So I will say that as well. I think he did, Steve. Do you, David? Do you think he actually named some of his jumpsuits? Fair enough. Okay. John says, Steve, some news from the hologram concerts. Great, because I did, about a year ago, I did actually do a live on the hologram, and it was kind of, we decided amongst ourselves in the end that it had been put on the back burner. It had been put back and sort of, I don't know. I mean, there are hologram ones going around. The one that springs to mind is Roy Orbison. Yeah, that was the last I heard about it. Right, here we go. Name this jumpsuit, please. And I get the first one ready, and I'm going to have to look very, very closely at this. Don't forget to have live chat selected. And it's the same with the playback as well. When you're watching this on playback, if you got top chat selected, then you're only going to see the top comments. You're not going to see all the comments. Here we go. The name of this jumpsuit is... Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da. Who is going to give me the name of this jumpsuit? This could allow me to have a little sip of water, probably. Oh, wow. Somebody's got it right already. Two people have got it right. And the person that I can see got it right first is Ruth Daniel. So I just want to... Yes, and Maxine is confirming that. So Ruth gets this.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
Yeah, it's the nail jumpsuit. So well done, Ruth. Nice to see you here, Ruth. Arkansas Dave says Ruth got it first. Thanks. And Lou Dane says White Pyramid. No, Lou Dane. No. No. Close, but it was the nail. Right. Another very, very distinctive one. What is the name of this one? Ruth Daniel says thanks. You're very welcome. Maxine says she loves the sound. Yeah, get out of the stables, Grandma. Who is going to get out of the stables for this one? You guys are so quick tonight, Maxine says. Okay. It's the Rainfall suit, and it is just known as Rainfall. So looking at that, I think it's Bossa Nova Baby, not Elvis Austin. Sorry, Elvis Austin. As I say, it has to be exactly as it is on this particular website. It is Rainfall. It's the Rainfall suit. Bossa Nova Baby says my internet is lagging. So I'm just waiting for confirmation now. Rainfall. And I will give that to when I see Bossa Nova Baby.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
Yeah. By the way, look at the backdrop behind me. It was because I was at Studio B last week, and I kind of I was amused that Arkansas Dave said Sun Studio. So Dave, this is for you. There's Sun Studio. Okay, I thought I'd do that. I thought I'd do Sun this week. Now, jumpsuit number 3 coming up. Stand by. That's a very, very popular suit. And I'm going to be very, very interested to see who gets the stables. Who has to get out of the stables, Grandma. Wow, well done, Lou Dane. Yeah. See how popular it is? Everybody is getting Fringe. Jack, Ruth, Elvis Austin, well done, Elvis Austin. Tracy, Mark, Kirsty. Yeah. It is the Fringe.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
I just love that. Lou Dane. Well done, Lou Dane. So far, we've got Ruth Daniel, Bossa Nova, Baby, and Lou Dane with Nail, Rainfall, Fringe. Now, this is good because there's a little bit more to the title with this one. Jumpsuit number 4 is this one. Now, what do you think of that? I've been a little bit tricky there, haven't I? Who is going to tell me what that one is? I've got bicentennial suit, blue prehistoric bird suit, blue. Yeah, I think I might have. People are getting close. People are getting close. It's 3 words. And it looks like it is JC22 because the actual name of that one is the Blue Egyptian Bird. So Maxine says Norset 45. What did Norset 45 say? Yeah, she said Blue Egyptian, but JC22 said Blue Egyptian Bird. So I'm actually going to overrule Maxine there and say JC22. JC22. I hope you don't mind, Maxine, but I'm a bit of a stickler for it tonight. And if you look at that picture, oh, sorry, you have this.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
If you look at that, you'll see that he's hung, or Charlie Hodge has hung a towel over the belt, over the back of that suit. And that's simply because that was the concert when he split his pants. And he called it the buzzard suit. Yeah. So yeah, Charlie Hodge didn't want Elvis, he wanted to spare his blushes. So what he did was he hung a towel over the belt so that Elvis could walk off and change his suit. And so I just kind of threw that in there to see if it'd throw you a little bit. Don't cover that with a towel now, Ludain. Right, here we go. This next one I think people will get very quickly. It's jumpsuit number 5, and it's this one. And I've made this one a little bit harder. Charlie was such a good friend. Hi, Doug. How are you doing? Yeah, I wonder, did he have sequin shorts? That's a good question, Miles High. Ah, right. Somebody has got this right. And it is Duncan Campbell with chicken bone. Well done, Duncan.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
That's what it was. It was the chicken bone. And I thought I'd just show a little bit of the leg and a little bit of the belt to see if anybody would know what that one was. Chicken bone. I would imagine that the fans named that. Thanks, Maxine, for confirming that. And finally, number 6 in the Name That Jumpsuit. I hope you're enjoying this Name the Jumpsuit. I'll do something different again next week for you. I might do general knowledge, or we might do backwards Elvis, because some people were sort of mentioning it, so they must enjoy it. Number 6 on the jumpsuit. Can anybody tell me what jumpsuit that is? Right. It's getting close. He probably called it the wishbone. Yes, he did, yeah. Okay, there is somebody right, and I can see it because that is the orange sunburst suit, and I think it was Jack that's going to get this.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
So I'll just wait for Maxine, but I'm pretty sure that it was Jack. Yeah, the orange sunburst. Lovely suit, lovely suit. Some people are just calling it sunburst, but it is actually orange sunburst. Yeah, Mark, yeah, it is orange sunburst. Jack Mullins, well done, Jack. Well done, Jack. Jack must have his live chat on tonight. So yeah, Ruth Daniel, Bossa Nova, baby, Lou Dane, JC22, Duncan Campbell, and Jack Mullins. Well done. I hope you really enjoyed that as much as I did. I don't know whether I said it at the top of the show. Thank you very, very much, everybody that's looking in tonight. Thank you very, very much for watching and joining me. And I will just say, for anybody that's just joined us, you do have to you do have to subscribe to take part in the quiz. So make sure that you do subscribe before you and I think I have the little thing here, don't I? Yeah, you have to subscribe, click the bell and turn it black, and then you will be able to be in for the prize of this month's grand prize, Blue Hawaii 4K. Now, I was thinking this week about what topic to do, and again, there's still a lot of talk about the Baz Luhrmann movie, obviously, because it was such a huge success. It was such a huge movie. It was such a big thing in the Elvis world. One of the biggest things in the Elvis world for quite a while. And so what I thought was, I got to thinking, what would Elvis think of the Baz Luhrmann movie? But it wasn't just myself, because Jim, if you're looking in, you know it's you. And you suggested it a few weeks ago as well. And what happened was I came across your email, and that got me thinking about it. What would Elvis think of Baz's movie? We all know that the Presley family said about the Elvis movie, he would have really loved it, and he would have said to Austin, you nailed it. You are me. But what do you think that Elvis would have thought? Would he have, what would he have thought about how his mother was portrayed, how the drinking issue was shown, or how his father was depicted in the movie? Was he sort of depicted as weak, work shy, driven by money? Would Elvis have liked to have seen his father portrayed like that? Or even would he have liked the way that he was portrayed in the movie himself? Would he have liked to have some people said that what the idea they got, or the impression they got from the movie, was he was Parker's puppet. I've got to be careful when I say that, because it could blow the microphone out, but Parker's puppet. And also the fact that he came over as a very sad and morose character most of the time. I will emphasize most of the time during the movie. Where was his sense of humor, his humility, his generosity? Would he have been disappointed that wasn't shown? The fact that his love of gospel music, of course, there was the revival tent at the beginning, of course, and it was shown again at the end that he was sort of turning full circle, and I will be coming home. Would he have been happy with what Parker's character said about his father used him? He says, I used you, Mr. Presley. You used yourself, but also your father used you. Jim, who, as I said, suggested the topic, said, I was very disappointed that they didn't acknowledge his generosity. My only real complaint with the movie. That's his only complaint, that they didn't show his generosity. And what about Parker saying, we are the same, you and I. We are two odd, lonely children reaching for eternity. Do you really think that Parker would have said something like that? That's another question. I mean, is it something that Tom Parker would have said? Or was it sort of done by the script writers for using artistic license, if you like? We're also going to do, I'm looking over at my director, before I open the phone lines, if you want to ring in and give your opinion on what you think Elvis would have thought of the Baz Luhrmann movie. Before I do that, we always do a poll. And this week, like last week, I've picked a song, and then I'm going to pick 3 versions of the song. I think last week it was Trying to Get to You, which version you liked, the 54, the 68, or the 77. As far as I remember, it was the 68 that won. Now, if you're watching this on playback, you won't be able to vote, but you will hear me give the result at the end of the show. So let's get that up for you. And this week, it's which performance of Lordy Miss Claudie is your favourite? The 1956 studio version, that's the original version. Well, not the original version, but Elvis's first version. The 1968 sit-down show from the NBC TV special, or the 1972 Elvis on Tour version. So I'm adding that now to the chat, and I would like as many of you as possible to vote. Take your pick from the studio version 1956, the 1968 sit-down version NBC TV special, or the 1972 Elvis on Tour. And I'm going to tell you near the end, if I remember, what my favourite of those three are. 1956, 1968, or 1972. But I better open the phone lines in case there is anybody that wants to give me their opinion on what Elvis would have thought of the Baz Luhrmann movie. And there we go, straight away. Do we? Okay. Right. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Hey, Maxine, what do you think?
Oh, it's a hard one.
Do you think he would have been happy with it?
I think he would with certain bits. I don't know about his mum being portrayed
Okay,
like that.
well, I'll tell you, we'll take it one step at a time. What bits do you think he would have been happy with then?
I think the performances.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the 50s performances, 60s performances, and 70s, all those performances.
Yeah. They were pretty much spot on, especially the 68 one.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, they got that right. But of course, that was Elvis singing. What about the 1955, 1954 Baby Let's Play House?
They were good ones as well. I think that one where he's singing Baby Let's Play House Live, that was a really good one.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
So you think he would have turned to Austin and said what Priscilla and Lisa said? You are me. You're doing a really good job.
I think he would have said it a bit differently.
Right. What would you think he would have said to Austin?
Oh, that's a hard one. Now you put me. I think he would have said he would have done a really good performance of it.
Yeah.
But I think he probably would have said you could have done certain things differently, maybe.
Okay. So what do you think he would have been unhappy with in the whole film? Do you think he would have been, I think you said he would have been unhappy with the way his mother was portrayed.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think it was right how they portrayed her as a full alcoholic kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like that part because they didn't really speak about that part in real life. So I don't think she was that much of an alcoholic, to be honest with you. But no. I know she did drink quite a bit before she passed.
And what about the arguing? You know, the argument where he storms out of Graceland. You probably would have been unhappy about that as well, showing him shouting at his mother.
Oh yeah, I don't think he'd have shouted her like that.
Yeah,
he probably would have been upset and spoke to her kindly, or with a slight tone. But I don't think he would have shouted at her because he had so much respect for her.
Well, I did a video a few weeks ago, about separating fact from fiction of the real Gladys and the Baz Luhrmann's Gladys. And I did say that Lamar said that Elvis and Gladys did used to get into fights and they used to throw things and throw food and stuff like that, But that was just probably just the pressure cooker they were under, the pressure cooker of the instant fame nearly.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So, living in a fishbowl.
Oh, exactly. You've pretty much gone from nothing and then to having something thrown straight in your face kind of thing. And it probably did unsettle her for a while. And
what about Vernon?
See, that is a hard one. Again, but I think in a way, they kind of got it right. But I think that Vernon, how he was when he let Colonel pretty much boss his son around, like, when he had that bit, the full backstage, he shouldn't have made him go back on stage. He should have stood up to him then. But if that did happen, then fair enough. You've got to show that side of it.
Well, up until the Baz Luhrmann movie came out, there was never any mention of Vernon actually being there.
No.
Larry Geller never mentioned. I mean, Larry was apparently there that night when Elvis was having his head dunked into the cold water.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah, and Larry never mentioned Vernon being there. So obviously, Baz has inserted Vernon into that again for artistic, dramatic license.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, alrighty. Anything else you think he would either be unhappy or happy with on the movie?
I think the way Colonel is a bit. I think I know people don't like him. I know I certainly don't like him, but there's probably got to be another side where, like, they were friends, where they did have certain, like, good times, and I know there's bad times as well, but I think they need to focus on the good things that they both did together.
Yeah, well, I mean, when they were riding the crest of the wave in the 50, 56, 57, they must have been, it must have been just great for both of them.
Oh, definitely.
But as things started to turn maybe after when, in Vegas and things like that.
Oh, yeah. That's when it changed. That's when it...
I don't think myself, Elvis would have been happy with the way the big row and the firing was done. Elvis wouldn't have been happy with it being portrayed on stage when really, as we know, it happened in the suite.
I can't imagine that actually going on stage, because he had respect for us. He kept it professional. I reckon that was more for artistic license, as you said.
Yes.
I think it was more behind the scenes on that part. But
okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Maxine.
That's all right. Cheers.
All the best. Bye. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Thanks, Maxine. There was actually somebody else trying to call me there, and I didn't think two calls could come in at once. So that's, Here we go. That's the call now. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Steve.
How are you?
All right, you?
I forgot to ask Maxine, actually, which one she would have gone for the Lordy Miss Claudie. So I'll ask you first. Which one did you pick?
I picked 72.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I like 72.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I like the live version. It looked like Elvis was having quite a good fun with that one, and I like the on tour one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all good. I like them all, but for me, it's a bit, I don't know. Just he seems to be really enjoying it and playing around with that one. I quite like the arrangements as well.
Yeah. That's very interesting. As I say, I will, if I remember at the end of the show, I'll try and remember to tell you which one I would have picked.
Yeah, it's one that I do in my show as well. So
all right.
As well. And it's quite good days.
Yeah. It's one of the ones that he kept doing throughout his career. Some he only recorded once in the studio and never sang again. Lordy Miss Claudie was one. I mean, he did it in 1970 as well. So
that's it. Yeah. It's one of the ones he likes, I think. Yeah, definitely.
So, do you want to talk about the topic? Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I find as Maxine said, it's quite a hard question, really. If you'd been here and seen it, I think he would have enjoyed all the musical numbers. I think he would have enjoyed all the costumes. He'd enjoyed, parts of his life from the start, probably to the end as well. But I wouldn't have thought he'd probably like him seeing himself being injected by the doctor and stuff like that.
Good point. Very, very good point.
I don't think that would have been the best for his life. He's got a daughter, hasn't he, and stuff like that. So he doesn't want to see that side of it. Again, the bit on the Vernon, I think, he seems to be a weak man in the film. He's portrayed as that weak man and a yes man, And you think, was he like that? A part of it seems to be he was like that. He just seemed to go along with the tread of the mill,
Yeah, I mean, some of the Memphis Mafia said that he was on the verge of worrying that they'd go bankrupt every time Elvis spent money.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
so he was probably money driven.
Yeah, I think so. The part of the film as well for me, which I thought Elvis, if he'd have watched it, probably would have just like his generosity for course. Yeah, it wasn't in the film at all.
Yeah,
the amount of houses, cars, gifts, jewellery to people he knew, to people he didn't know, he gave away in his lifetime must have been amazing. He must have spent millions.
Yeah,
just giving things away, and not just giving things away to people like I'll buy you a car tomorrow, to charities and all that. He did, It wasn't that wasn't in the movie, and that's a bit sad because Elvis was obviously a very generous person. And
but maybe Elvis wouldn't have wanted that to have been in the movie because he didn't do it to say, look at me, I'm a great guy. He did it because he liked to see and he liked to change people's lives, and he liked to see the reaction of people when he gave them something.
Yeah, I suppose, it wouldn't have been something that he wouldn't have seen the whole film, but just a little mention of it would have been nice, to show that he was a generosity person if you didn't know him, so, and I think actually showing the movie didn't, I don't know what you thought, maybe could have had a little bit more music in it as Elvis songs go, visual, it had them few things in the 50s, and it lacked the movies. It's a shame, would Elvis be happy with all the movies? Because he did do some good films, and they weren't really shown in the light that they should have been shown. It seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, there were some movies that he did like, and he was proud of.
Yeah.
I don't think all 31 of them he was, ashamed of them.
And in the film they showed the ones at the end when he's on the skis and the clam bake and all that. It looked like he's getting a bit depressed about it.
Yeah.
And you think, well, it's on the Deadwood train again, isn't it? Of the movies, like. But I think you could have shown him performing greatly in Jailhouse Rock and King Creole and Flaming Star, and it would have showed, Elvis was a great actor. Do you think he would have been happy with them showing the Rapid City Unchained Melody sequence? Yes and no. One, because he's still got it.
Yeah.
He's still got it voice-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't look his best, of course, but Elvis would have probably known that at the time and everything else. But I'm glad they did, because for the people who don't know that stuff, who are the general public gone to see that, must have saw that and at the end of the movie and gone, wow. They must have gone, wow, God, I didn't know Elvis did that at the piano. Amazing. So I'm glad they did. A lot of people might say, well, why did you show that when he was, but it's a part of the story, it's a part of his life.
Exactly. And I actually think that Elvis had accepted his appearance by then anyway.
Yeah, well, I think so, yeah. And hopefully if he'd have lived, probably may have got himself back on track a bit, and if he had left the Colonel, I think he may have got himself hopefully in better health.
Yeah,
but we don't know.
Yeah, we'll never know now, unfortunately.
No, we don't know, and we don't know if his health issues were that bad that he may not have lived that longer anyway. That's something else we don't know with the way his life was. So it's, there was great parts in the film. There was bits that I'm missing still, like we all know. I think if you'd have seen it, he'd have praised Austin for doing a great job. I think he would have loved the scenery, all the backdrops of all the stages. Yeah,
they would have. He would have loved the attention to detail, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Because he was that kind of person, and I think he would have. To be honest with you, because Elvis was a bit of a trendy set, and he trended his music and changed it all through. I think he'd probably enjoyed all the new stuff in it as well.
Yeah.
So, and it may have, if he'd have lived, enticed him to change his music a bit later on. If he'd have gone and lived, another 20 years more, we don't know. But I think half of me said he would have enjoyed it, and there'd be parts that he wouldn't.
That he would have changed, yeah.
He would have changed, would have thought.
Alrighty, thanks very much, Mark, as always. Enjoy yourself.
Great show, mate.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Mark said some very, very good points there. Very, very good points. And I just thought I'd actually throw that in there as well. Would he have been happy? Let's see now, just clear that off the screen. Right, that's that. Would he have been happy with them finishing the movie in 1977, Rapid City, Unchained Melody? I probably think yes, because as Mark said, it was all part of the story. He had accepted the fact that he probably didn't look his best. He wasn't in the best of health, as we know. I know one thing that Elvis would have been amazed and happy with is the actual number of people and how successful, how many people went out to the movies and watched that movie. He would be, I think Elvis would be flabbergasted to think that 40 1977. He's been gone longer than he was alive, and yet people are still going out and seeing and watching a movie based on his life. So that's one thing I think he would have been secretly kind of pleased about, to think, wow. And he said in the movie, I've never done anything lasting. I'll be 40 years old soon, and nobody will remember me. Nobody will remember me. And yet over 40 years later, and we're still here. We're still here, Elvis. Yes, we haven't forgot you. You're still as much a part of our lives in 2022 than you were in 1977. So yeah. Now, if you there's still time to call, because of course, and I should have, I keep forgetting to do this, and I should have done it a lot sooner. And this is to do this, but I'm sure you know. Where is it? There it is. I've got a new little logo or banner for Phone Lines Open, call in now, and it kind of flicks and flashes every so often just to remind you. I was playing around with something earlier on. Hello, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel?
Hello, Mr. Steve.
Well, that is Mr. Brian. How are you, Brian?
Doing good. How about you?
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear. You sound really good.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna ask you first of all, Lordy Miss Claudie, 1956, 1968, or 1972?
68 comeback special.
Mr.
All the way.
Mr. Predictable.
So I wish he would have done it in the 73 Aloha from Hawaii, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Because he'd proven by then that he was a master showman.
Yeah. Well, I think we knew that all along, but 1973. Although a lot of people, we've had this discussion before. What was your favorite concert? Was it the Aloha from Hawaii, or was it Madison Square Garden? And a lot of people did say Madison Square Garden.
Mine is Aloha from Hawaii.
I know, yeah. And it is a lot of people's as well.
I watch that constantly.
Yeah. Well, you see, we unfortunately we haven't got any professional footage of Madison Square Garden, which is a shame. We've got professional footage of the press conference. That's annoying that we haven't got professional footage of at least one of the shows.
Yeah.
Prince from Another Planet, the 8mm footage is very, very good, but it's still not professional,
No.
So do you want to talk about the what would Elvis think of the Baz Luhrmann movie?
I don't think he would have been happy with it.
Oh, right. None of it at all.
Well, I know, at least not the negative stuff anyways. Not the way they switched it around. They took everything and edited it for dramatic purposes, like they usually do in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, when they said that when someone called Elvis the King of Rock and Roll, and he said, no, that title belongs to Fats Domino. Well, they took out his belief of Jesus really in that piece, because someone actually called him the king. That's right. In concert on stage. And he stopped the show and said, no, Jesus is the king. Yeah, that's right. There's recording of that. Yes. So, to change things around for dramatic purposes, it kind of ticks me off. They did the same thing with the Johnny Cash biopic. Oh, yeah. Walk the Line. Yes. So now, that's another thing, too. I was ticked off when... what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix was robbed of his Oscar. Yeah. Okay, now just getting back to the Elvis movie, you don't think he would have been pleased with, say, the way that Austin Butler portrayed him, no? Oh, I think he would have loved the way Austin Butler portrayed him, because Austin Butler came pretty damn close next to second in line only, for as far as I'm concerned, to Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell did a good job. But then again, there were some sticky scenes in that as well. I think I've mentioned before him talking to his shadow and things like that. I mean, that just... I don't like those scenes at all because I just can't imagine Elvis doing that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, what about the portrayal of his parents?
I don't think they really gave them a good look at him, like at his parents. Like they took a more of a negative look at him and at his parents, and it wasn't always that negative.
I mean,
there was lots of happiness between Gladys and Elvis and Vernon.
And do you think that they portrayed Vernon fairly? Was he work shy? Was he money driven? That sort of thing.
I don't know if he was money driven, but I know he was concerned with the way Elvis was spending money, especially in his
most people would
years.
be. Elvis could buy 12 Cadillacs. That would concern most people.
Oh yeah. And like he forgot that. I think he forget that income tax is on the way soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And what about the portrayal of his mother?
Portrayal of his mother, I didn't like it. It looked too much of a negative look on her.
Right.
I mean, like they never talked about her drinking in past years. I never heard anything about that until just this year, actually. So.
Okay, so why then, I'm going to ask you this question, why then do you think, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway, why do you think that Lisa and Priscilla have said that Elvis would have been so blown away by this movie then?
Probably because of Austin Butler's performance of Elvis. Yeah, okay. I mean, he did, he caught the essence of Elvis. Again, like I said, next to Kurt Russell.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. A lot of people have said, I mean, they're saying it's Oscar worthy, and it'll be a travesty if he doesn't get the Oscar. Now, whether he will or not, I don't know. I mean, Hollywood is a funny thing when it comes to giving out Oscars, but
especially when they showed him doing the performance of Hound Dog on the Milton Berle show in '56.
Yeah, and what about
he had the moves on pat.
Yeah, and what about the 1968, the stand-up show as well? I mean, that was just fantastic the way Austin did that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he did great.
I mean, it's not Elvis. It's not Elvis. It never will be. But he you could see that he put a lot of work into it.
Well, he went above and beyond the Call of Duty to actually do his own singing and everything.
Yeah. Well, he I think we've had this discussion as well before. He only sang the 50s stuff though, didn't he? It was Elvis in the 60s and 70s, I believe.
Yeah. So, but he still did a good job on the 50 stuff, though.
Yeah. Baby, let's play house. Okay. Oh, and Trouble as well. That was another one he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, Brian. Thanks very much for ringing in. It's a pleasure to speak to you.
All right. You're welcome, sir.
All the best. Bye bye.
Same to you. Bye.
Yeah. Just nearly by all accounts, most people say that Austin did a great job. They're not saying he is Elvis. I know a few people have said it was like watching Elvis. I disagree with that. I never caught myself thinking I'm watching Elvis. I always knew I was watching Austin Butler playing Elvis. I never lost that reality that it wasn't Elvis. I wouldn't go that far, but he probably did the best job since Kurt Russell. And as I say, one thing that Elvis would be pleased about, above everything else of the movie, is the fact that how many people went out and watched it, how much the movie grossed, not so much for the money side of it, but the number of people that went out and watched it worldwide after he was allegedly said, I'm 40 years old, I've never done anything lasting, nobody will remember me in a few years. He wasn't right about that. Anyway, Elvis was right about a lot of things, but he definitely wasn't right about that, because we're still here, Elvis, and as far as we know, we'll still be here for a long time. We need to pass the baton on to the younger generation, and that's what the movie has done in some shape or form. It's garnered new fans, younger fans as well, and people that want to learn a lot more about Elvis. And it's a great thing. It really is a great thing, because that's why we're all here at the end of the day. That's why I'm here. I'm here to keep Elvis's name and legacy alive. Now, we're going to do Elvis history, November the 13th, down the years. But don't forget, a wee reminder, which performance of Lordy Miss Claudie is your favourite? Click that little blue banner and it'll drop down for you. And it's the 1956 studio version, the 1968 sit-down show NBC TV special, or the 1972 Elvis on tour. Which one was your favourite out of those three? The performance of Lordy Miss Claudie. So I can still see that some people are still voting on it, so I'm going to leave it open for a while. Please, please, please vote. It's completely anonymous. I don't know who votes for what. I just know how many votes each option gets. Right, this day in Elvis history. And let me have a look, because what have I got here? I've got photographs for down the years. If it's a red letter day for you, if it's your birthday, anniversary, and you've always wondered, I wonder what Elvis was doing on my birthday, I wonder what Elvis was doing on my anniversary. Well, now is your chance to find out. In 1954, Elvis performed at the Louisiana Hayride Municipal Auditorium, Shreveport, and there he is. He sang That's All Right, Blue Moon of Kentucky, Fool, 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 and Just Because. And there's some nice photographs of Elvis performing. And there is a press clipping as well, showing that he was on the Sunday show, the 13th. Elvis Presley. He's very well dressed there, isn't he? Quite conservative for what was to come. And there's an advert as well. Tonight, 8 to 11:30. Elvis Presley. 1955, he performed at the Ellis Auditorium, Memphis, at 3 and 8 p.m. This was the first of a 6-day tour. Let me just boost that up a little bit so that you can hear me. 1956, Vacation in Las Vegas, and Alice Leslie meets Elvis Presley. And there's Alice Leslie in the photograph. 1957, we have Elvis sailed for Los Angeles on the USS Lurline. He left at 4 p.m. And if I'm not mistaken, on the extreme left, that's Lamar Fike. And then next to Elvis, on Elvis's right, or our left as we look at it, looks like Tom Diskin. And who else can we see there? I'm just wondering who those other three fellas are to our left. Maybe they were just passengers. I'm not sure if that's Alan Fortas, actually. Did Elvis know Alan in 57? I can't remember exactly when they met. I'd say he did know Alan. It does look a little bit like Alan Fortas. Right. 1959, we have Hotel Grunwald in Bad Nauheim, Germany. Obviously in the services. RCA releases a 9th Elvis album. Elvis had enough hit singles in 1958 and 1959 to form a second greatest hits LP. And each song had already sold $1 million in units. The measurement changed as the counting system became more accountable. And Elvis Gold Records Volume 2 peaked at number 31 on the Billboard Top Pop Albums chart. It was certified by the Recording Industry Association of America, that's RIAA, for a Gold Record Award based on $1 million in wholesale sales on November the 1st, 1966. It was certified platinum for sales of 1 million copies in the US on March the 27th, 1992. Now, here we go. We'll do something here, right? On this day, in 1960, 1961, 62, 64, 66, 67, 68, he was in a movie production. So, first of all, 1960. What movie was he making in 1960? This day in 1960. Let's see if somebody can tell me. November the 13th, 1960. This is just for fun. This isn't a quiz. What movie would he have been making? Elvis Austin? No. Yes, no said. Flaming Star. Okay, what movie was in production in 1961 on this day? In 1961. Let's see who's the first person can tell me. So Wild in the Country was 1960. What movie was he working on in 1961? We're still getting, obviously, Wild in the Countries from the first question. Kid Galahad. Well done, Brian. Okay. 1962. What film was Elvis introduced? And she... Okay. Now, 1962. Wasn't Girls, Girls, Girls? No. According to my records and sources... Yes, well done, Jack. It happened at the World's Fair. Okay, what movie was he working on in 1964? November the 13th. I should have used this as as a quiz. An extra curriculum. Well done, Brian. Yes, it happened at the World's Fair, yeah. But what was 1964? Wasn't roused about. Tickle me. Well done, Steve S. Well done. You actually, Steve S., you can have one of these.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
1966. What movie was Elvis working on this day in 1966? Edward says roustabout. That's probably for the previous question. Who can tell me what Elvis was working on in... easy come, easy go. Well done, Jack.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
1967. Because obviously November was a very, very busy month every year for Elvis. Stay Away Joe. Well done, Tracy. Yeah. And 1968. Give me 1968. What was Elvis working on this day in 1968? Wasn't Speedway. No. Wasn't Spin Out. Nope. The Trouble with Girls. Well done. Puma Gutton.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
Hi, Puma. Okay, and in 1970, I can go back to my pictures now, can't I? In 1970, Elvis performed at Cow Palace, San Francisco. Oh yeah, we've got some great photographs in the Red Ladder. Yes, here we go. One of my favorite suits. I think this was one of the first suits I used for Name That Jumpsuit, the Red Ladder. We've got him pulling some funny faces in a minute as well, if I remember rightly. There he goes. Elvis pulling funny faces. Cow Palace, San Francisco. Yeah, there he is. He's looking right at the cameraman there, smiling. The Red Ladder. There's Charlie giving him his guitar. That must be right at the beginning of the concert. He's sort of putting a funny face at Charlie there as well. He must have been in a great mood that night. Okay, so we've come full circle. 1971, Elvis performed... Oh, more photographs. Yes, Elvis performed at the Municipal Auditorium, Dallas, Texas at 2:30 and 8:30. And in 1972... Oh, hang on, I didn't show you all those photographs, did I? Beg your pardon. There you go. That was Dallas. Okay. And 1972, we have Elvis performed at the Swing Auditorium, San Bernardino, California. And there he is with a lucky fan. I would imagine that's before he went on stage because his hair is kind of quite tidy there. And there he is on stage. Great photographs on this day in 1972. Photoshop. I'm sure you're enjoying these Photoshops. That's a nice colour shot from 1972. Don't forget, if there's a photograph or a Photoshop that you keep seeing which is kind of annoys you, you can send it in to me at Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com. Okay, here we go. This is a lovely, lovely photograph of Elvis and Marilyn Monroe on the set of The Misfits, which was her final completed movie. There was Something's Gotta Give, but that wasn't completed. So unfortunately it isn't, of course, because it wouldn't be Photoshop if it was genuine. It's obviously this photograph, as you can see. And poor old Montgomery Clift, I think is it, has had his face taken away and Elvis is put in. So that's the Photoshop from this week. I think it's, is it Montgomery Clift? Somebody will tell me now. Well, yeah, no, Clark Gable has been, actually, Clark Gable is in the original, but he's actually been cropped out of the Elvis and Marilyn Photoshop. But the fella that's Elvis's face has replaced, I think, is Montgomery Clift. Somebody might be able to just confirm that. Norset, yep, Montgomery Clift. I was right. Hey, I haven't lost it yet. Okay, now we obviously move on to a song I wish Elvis had recorded. Although I am going to just remind you that there's still a few more minutes left to vote on this poll, and the poll is, which is your favourite performance of Lordy Miss Claudie? Is it the 1956 studio version? Is it the 1968 sit-down show NBC TV special? Or the 1972 Elvis on Tour one? And I will tell you at the end of the show which one I would have picked out of those three. Yeah, you're right, Tracy. Clark Gable died not long after making that movie. Yeah, it was his final movie. It was Marilyn Monroe's final completed movie. So yeah, it was a sad kind of movie all round. And Arthur Miller, I think, her husband, Robert Weber says, "Wow, that's a horrible Photoshop." Yes, it is. I agree. Yeah, Marilyn's husband, Arthur Miller, wrote the screenplay, and I think they split up pretty soon after it, or even during the filming of it, something like that. So yeah, not a happy movie. Right. Let's get this up, and it was this song which you wished Elvis had recorded was suggested by Terence Philby. Thanks, Terence. It's a popular song written by country music singer Carl Bellew and W.S. Stevenson and published in 1958. Bellew recorded his song in Nashville on December the 17th, 1958 and released the single in March 1959 when it reached number 9 on the US country music chart. Other country music artists have recorded the cover versions of the song, including Skeeter Davis, number 11 on the country chart in 1960, Ernest Tubb, 1960, Gene Vincent, 1966, George Jones, 1967, Patti Page, 1968, Jim Reeves and Prairie Oyster, 1991. The highest charting version of the song on the US pop chart was recorded by the singer Engelbert Humperdinck, and Elvis was kind of casual friends with Engelbert. There's a few photographs of Engelbert and Elvis together, and he had a hit with it on August the 11th, 1967. He recorded it. Released as a single in late 1967 from his album The Last Waltz. It reached number 18 on the Hot 100 and number 1 on the Easy Listening chart in early 1968. Humperdinck's version was also a big hit in the United Kingdom, where it spent 2 weeks at number 3 on the UK singles chart, as well as in Ireland, where it spent 3 weeks at number 1 in the Irish singles charts. It is the song Am I That Easy to Forget? And Terence says he sang the first line on the American Studios outtake CD during If I'm a Fool for Loving You. And he says, I think Gene Vincent's version is great. That's the one I've actually picked. And I will put a link to Gene Vincent's version of Am I That Easy to Forget in the description box below this video after this video finishes. If you're not familiar with the song, check out that link and let me know. Actually, you can let me know in the comment section below as well what you think. Could you imagine Elvis singing it? Would it have been a bad mistake? Or give me your opinion. And that is I Wish Elvis Had Recorded. And please do keep sending in your I Wish Elvis Had Recorded songs and photoshops and topics. If you want me to cover a topic on the show, I will. Just send it in to me and we can do a future show about it. Now, am I going to close this poll? I think just about everybody who is going to vote has voted. And I'm going to look and see, first of all, wow. Okay, end poll. There you go. And I'm going to read it out. Which performance of Lordy Miss Claudie is your favourite? 1968 sit down special, 60%. Wow, voted. 1956, 21%. And only 18% said 1972 Elvis on Tour. Mark Green said 1972 Elvis on Tour. And if you watch what I said, that's interesting. And I tell you why it's interesting is because I would have picked the 1972 Elvis on Tour, Lordy Miss Claudie. He just looks like he was having such a great time. And he's looking over at the band and laughing and smiling and shaking his head at times. So I agree with Mark. He just looked like he was having such a fantastic time doing that. So that I would have been one of the 18% anyway of Elvis on Tour. I think that completes all the business. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Please check out, I've left a link for the Ron Strauss interview as well in the description box, so you can check that out. And also, don't forget, as I explained at the top of the show, you can also go in and go playlists, and you can check out all the interviews I've done with people from the Elvis world. If you're new to this channel, they're all there for you to check out. Oh, wow, what a show. I had a great time. Thanks to the callers. And we'll have a brand new topic again next week. It goes so fast, doesn't it? It only seems like 5 minutes, not an hour. If you do want to support the show, you can use a link below to buy me a coffee or two. Thanks very much. It's just a nice way of showing your appreciation. And until next Sunday, please look after yourselves. See you next Sunday. Take care, everybody.